Hello and welcome to Business Reporter's The Future of Payments campaign. I'm Ashley Blake. It sounds incredible, yet it's true. Up to 50% of B2B transactions is still paper-based. A huge number of quotes, invoices, shipping and customs documentation are still exchanged either on a physical paper or in the form of emails, PDFs and spreadsheets. None of these channels are truly digital, therefore all of them involve huge extra costs and a high risk of human error. These old-fashioned transaction and delivery systems are long overdue a digital overhaul. That overhaul, however, can be a long and arduous process. The time and resources required for digital transformation can put a lot of companies off. Is there an easy approach to fully digitizing operations? That's what we're going to discuss today with Chris Todd, Senior Account Executive North America at Tradeshift. What do you think business leaders have learned from the pandemic?
I think business leaders learned that their supply chains were vulnerable, too static and not agile enough globally. I also think companies realized that they weren't set up properly to work remotely, along with their business partners, their suppliers, their banking partners. Everyone was relying very heavily on email and phone call. Overall, organizations now are looking to accelerate their digital path, making sure that they look at it not just internally, but also externally with their business partners.
Right, well, we've been hearing about digital transformation for a long time. Why hasn't it advanced?
I don't think organizations realized they weren't digital. The vast majority of company interactions are based on email or online meetings or shared spreadsheets. But that's not digital, that's electronic. I think companies need to look at their entire supply ecosystem, their banking partners, their suppliers, their logistics providers, to make sure that everyone is on the same journey and everyone is using the same process and technology for that digital journey.
You talk of a journey. Where does this digital transformation journey start?
I think fundamentally it starts with your business partners in the finance side and the procurement side. I think over the years, companies have invested very heavily on the buyer side and also have grown through acquisitions and legacy systems, but all on the buyer side, that they have left the supplier on an island, making it very confusing for the supplier to collaborate and submit invoices. They're not sure what system to use or what process to use. So I think if you get the buyer and the supplier together, that's where you start your digital journey.
So if digitalization is so slow, it's probably because it's difficult or costly, or even both. Which one do you think it is?
It's certainly not costly. We find that most of the projects pay for themselves in a matter of months, but it is difficult. In a recent study, it is shown that the majority of projects fail because they have difficult getting the supplier onboarded and enabled and integrated. So starting with the supplier, getting the supplier onboarded properly is the key to success.
Chris, what are your thoughts on how this can be done better?
I think you have to change the approach. As I mentioned, for many years, the buyer has always gone to the supplier and constantly negotiated or squeezed them for more savings. I think the approach needs to be, when you go to a supplier, instead of bringing a bat or a stick, bring a carrot. Show them the value of why they should change their method of collaborating, submitting documents, submitting invoices. Because you want a platform that's easy for the sellers to submit an invoice. Second, you want a platform that provides them clear visibility on not only historic invoices, but the current invoices that are in the cycle time. Third, you want a platform that they're able to make sure they get paid on time and have the ability to get paid earlier. I think those three areas will help the seller and incentivize the seller.
How does Tradeshift help?
We are a cloud-based solution on a business network that's made up of buyers and suppliers. We sit in that intersection between those two parties. In essence, we're the glue for that transaction. We make it easier for the supplier to get onboarded. They get pure visibility in their transaction. And obviously with the buyer, it's a win-win solution.
How does the software work and how is it different from the others?
So we focus on the transactional side, on the procurement and finance side. We make it very easy for the supplier to get onboarded and to get all their historic data of all the invoices that they submitted, the status of the invoices, the cycle time of the invoices. So instead of a supplier constantly picking up the phone and calling a shared service department, getting updates, all of it is on our platform. On the buyer side, we do full end-to-end AP automation, from ingestion to using machine learning to process the invoices, to getting to a no-touch process or a less-touch process, freeing up the resources in these shared service departments, and then fully integrated to the ERP systems for payment. So overall, helping both buyer and seller be more productive, more efficient, and together on the same page on the digital journey.
Perhaps you could share with us a case study of a successful implementation.
Recently, one of the largest supply chain logistics company came to Tradeshift and talked to us about their digital journey. They told us they had tens of thousands of suppliers globally in very difficult to process countries that require a lot of clearance and compliance. Typically, onboarding these suppliers would take years. We were able to demonstrate that 50% of their suppliers globally were already on our network. So within day one of the project, we were able to demonstrate a clear and easier path to onboard these suppliers and accelerate their digital journey.
And before you go, Chris, can you give us 3 key takeaways you want our viewers to remember?
Well, digitization is key for any organization that's looking to be agile and have a frictionless supply chain. After you digitize with your supply chain globally, and you're in all the various regions globally that require local clearance and compliance, then you get into automation. And once you automate, then you're able to move your resources to more strategic functions, free up your resources from the manual and tactical tasks, get it to no touch or at least touchless process for shared service centers and AP departments. And then finally, you get into more of how do you grow your supply chain. So you get into more of diversity and sustainability. Maybe there's a brand or product that you're rolling out into another country. It's easier to do that after you digitize. So again, digitize, automate, and grow is the key to having an agile supply chain.